While the benefits of route optimization are important for all types of cargo, it becomes even more critical for pharmaceutical products and nearest pharmacy stores, because these are particularly sensitive and vulnerable to elements like temperature, light, humidity, quality of roads, etc. Importantly, since pharmaceutical products are life-saving and responsible for maintaining the health of entire populations at large, special attention must be paid to factors affecting the efficacy of routes and transport procedures for pharmacy stores. The first step for a pharmacy is to understand the type of products that need to be transported. Naturally, not all products can be treated equally since different products need different transportation procedures. A good benchmark to follow is the product stability data that provides details about the product characteristics. This data is published by the product manufacturer and can be treated as a reliable guideline. Importantly, it outlines the time period that the product can stay or be handled when not within the prescribed temperature without losing its effectiveness. For example, some products will be temperature agnostic during transportation, while others will need a minutely controlled temperature environment. For such products, the use of various supply chains, such as a cold chain network, is a must. A cold chain network can store and transport products between specified temperatures, typically between 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, 36 to 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Another type of cold supply chain is a deep freeze chain, where products stay stable up to 40 degrees Celsius, 104 degrees Fahrenheit. This is also used for products that are kept frozen even after delivery, including seafood, produce, and ice creams. Naturally, the distance over which products are to be transported before reaching their final destination is always an important factor. When transporting temperature-sensitive products, this becomes even more important. The recent pandemic threw up a sudden and urgent the need for transporting highly sensitive vaccines under extremely stringent temperature-controlled environments. These challenges were felt even more in countries with limited infrastructure, where road systems, electricity connections, and supply chain networks are disjointed and poor. Additionally, hot countries where ambient temperatures typically hover around 35 to 40 degrees Celsius make it very difficult to transport such products. Comparatively, a country that not only is a cold country, but also has robust infrastructure makes it much easier. Once pharmacies have identified the type of products, the next step is to choose a suitable method of distribution. This is important because there will be several variances even within the overall distribution method chosen. An active method of packaging requires a power connection for cooling, whereas a passive method uses containers that use cooling packs, or no cooling at all, for products that do not require any refrigeration. Use of any technology, e.g. freezers, requires a power connection such as electricity, battery, or even a source of solar power. All such options are popularly used to store and transport temperature-specific products inside factories, large stores, warehouses, etc., since they ensure the required refrigeration with a stable environment. Unless there is an irregular electricity supply, troublesome temperature fluctuations are rare. This method uses containers/devices that use packs of frozen water or a PCM, phase change material, for cooling. A PCM uses ingredients/substances that can absorb/release a significant amount of heat and can cool independently without needing to freeze. From an overarching perspective, the quality of logistics and distribution is dependent on the quality of infrastructure that exists. A robust infrastructure, i.e., a sum total of roads, warehouses, electricity supply, vehicles, drivers, etc., will give rise to the development and flourishing of an efficient transportation system. This, in turn, will enable transport companies to deliver goods efficiently and economically. These considerations become amplified with regards to a cold chain network, since it is not easy to operate such services when the base level of infrastructure is poor. Once you add the fragile and sensitive nature of pharmacy products to the above, you have an alarming situation. Guidelines for transport, delivery, and storage of pharmaceutical products with regards to logistics and infrastructure are set by the World Health Organization, WHO. Expectedly, these vary significantly between developed nations and developing, or underdeveloped, nations. It is also strongly recommended that the pharmaceutical companies themselves take an active role to help countries with poor/minimal infrastructure by making sure that their products are delivered successfully. After all, the easy availability and affordability of pharmacy products have a direct bearing on the health and economy of a country's population. As explained above, a pharma distribution network deals with products that are sensitive to temperature, humidity, time, light, etc., and, therefore, requires a controlled and monitored environment at all times. For the most part, i.e. the first mile, products have access to warehouses, containers, temperature control, regular electric supply, manpower, etc., and although this takes up the most time in a supply chain network, it is also where transport managers have maximum control. The challenge arises once the last leg of delivery begins and containers, active, passive, frozen water packs, PCMs, etc., are all used based on availability, requirement, and affordability. However, given that such cargo movement is constantly exposed to several ever-changing variables including traffic, weather, road conditions, etc., this is forever a challenge. Lastly, last-mile logistics is important because it deals with the end user directly and forms an important part of generating customer satisfaction. Clearly, 24-hour pharmacy stores need to pay deep attention to route optimization for successfully transporting their pharmacy products. Using a modern, automated, and GPS-enabled last-mile delivery management software is a great tool in achieving this.